When fall rolls in, worry follows close behind for farmers. Wild boars are highly intelligent, aggressive animals, and once the season turns, they move in, tearing through orchards, destroying months and years of hard work. In just a few nights, the damage can climb into the millions for local communities. There's no time to hesitate, no room for delay. A plan has to be put in motion, fast. This time, we step into the field with more determination than ever before. This is not just another hunt. It's a mission to protect the land, the harvest, and the natural balance this community depends on. Dawn is just breaking. Pale light filters through the canopy above. The scent of crushed fruit still hangs in the air. Deep gashes carved into the tree trunks tell us one thing for sure. The boars were here, and they haven't been gone long. We split into two teams. One moves in from the west. The other swings wide from the east, cutting off their escape routes. The formation settles in, and that's when the opportunity presents itself. This move doesn't just solve an immediate problem, it reinforces our responsibility to protect the natural balance and the livelihoods built here over generations. This is invasive species control, carried out strictly under U.S. wildlife management laws. The signs are clear, but the animal's speed and ability to disappear into cover make every step tense. Then suddenly, hound voices break the silence in the distance. That sound changes everything. It's a signal we cannot ignore. We shift positions immediately, setting up an intercept. In a moment of tight coordination between hunters and dogs, a large boar is contained within a controlled and safe perimeter. With the western side secured, a new report comes in from scouts. Another group is pushing in from the east. Not a massive sounder, but enough to complicate the situation. We deploy a funnel trap strategy, narrowing their movement, easing pressure on the orchard, and allowing the team to regain control step by step, safely and efficiently. Tension builds with every passing minute. I follow the tracks, then hear a faint rustle. I stop, watch closely. A boar bursts through the brush at full speed. Relying on instinct sharpened over years in the field, I lock onto the target at just under 200 yards. Clean, precise, fully within the framework of U.S. wildlife regulations. If you find this kind of real-world decision-making valuable, leave a comment and let us know. You'll see more field missions like this. Moving deeper into the heart of the orchard, the team sets up a layered trap system. It works like an invisible net. If an animal slips through the first point, it's stopped at the third or the fourth. When the signal comes up from the lower team, the intercept unit locks the situation down immediately. No individual breaks through this perimeter. This method keeps the area stable, safe, and protected for the long term. The operation continues until evening light fades behind the trees. The team conducts one final sweep, checking every section for fresh signs of intrusion. Through coordination, discipline, and patience, the pressure from the wild boars is lifted. The orchard returns to a stable state, at least for today. But this is not the end. With an invasive species that reproduces as fast as wild boars, safety only lasts when people stay proactive, responsible, and act at the right time. Early management is always better than late recovery. We'll be here when needed to protect the harvest, the community, and the balance of this land. The action kicked off with an airboat chase, where every movement required perfect sync between the driver and the hunter. High speed, wide open swamp, and an unpredictable target turned every second into pure tension. The moment the hog was spotted, our first contestant proved his nerves of steel. With flawless mobility and calm precision, he made his move. In a split second, the target was taken cleanly, an opening shot that set the tone for the entire competition. Once away from the roar of the airboat, the world turned quiet, but not any less dangerous. Wild hogs can detect a hunter in an instant, their senses razor sharp. Hiding within the damp underbrush, the contestant focused intensely. Every rustle, every unfamiliar scent could signal the hog's presence. And then, the perfect window appeared. A clean, controlled shot stopped the hog and prevented it from making another destructive step. I was genuinely impressed by contestant number 3's ability to read the land. Just from faint tracks left in the mud, he led us straight to a hog bedding area. The second the moment aligned, his first shot locked onto that powerful shadow. More hogs burst through the chaos, but every squeeze of the trigger was measured, steady, and decisive. In that storm of movement, his reflexes and marksmanship carried the day. A clever trap was set deep in the woods. Corn bait laid out quietly, luring hogs into a kill zone. The results exceeded all expectations. Not just one hog, but an entire group showed up, turning the scene into a wild feast. He adjusted his scope and fired. Every hog that stepped into his sights was dispatched cleanly. Wave after wave fell, securing the area and completing the mission with absolute efficiency. Contestant number 5 faced a tough challenge, maneuvering an ATV through thick Texas brush in search of his target, but his confidence never wavered. He knew this terrain as if it were his own backyard, and he understood hog behavior like reading a familiar book. He pushed forward, and there it was. One shot, one kill. The feral hog went down instantly. His determination shone through, a true protector of the farmlands threatened by these destructive animals. Relying on muddy wallows that hogs regularly visited, the last contestant picked the perfect ambush spot, an absolute choke point. The hogs had no idea that their favorite hangout had become a death trap. The setup was simple but airtight, no escape routes, and when the hog stepped in, its fate was sealed. The swamp was finally free from their grip. No more destruction, no more fear, just peaceful nights ahead for the farmers who depend on this land. This year's competition proved the courage, skill, and grit of every contestant who stepped into the wild Texas terrain. It was midday in a Texas field when a worried farmer called us. A herd of wild boars was repeatedly trampling the corn paths and destroying crops. Without hesitation, our team jumped into the 2025 Ford Ranger Raptor, equipped with GPS and motion tracking cameras. Today's mission was clear: control all the trails and keep the boars away from the cornfields. As soon as we shut off the engine, the hunting dogs perked up, detecting suspicious sounds from the edge of the grass. Daytime hunting officially began. We started from the edge of the large farm, where fresh boar tracks were still visible. The team split into two groups, staying in constant contact via phones and radios to avoid overlapping paths. In an open area, the motion radar signaled movement. The team immediately took positions at a safe distance. A mature boar appeared. Careful aim was essential. At the leader's signal, the animal was swiftly neutralized. That was just the opening act. If not handled quickly, the herd could have wreaked havoc on the farm at any moment. Moving 300 meters deeper into the woods, the heavy thud of hooves on soil echoed around us. The thermal camera detected a dark shape moving fast, heading straight toward the pasture near the farmer's cattle. This could have caused serious damage. The team formed a V-shaped line to intercept, but the beast suddenly changed direction, charging straight at me. Instantly, the team shifted formation, redirecting it to the flank. Seconds like these show how dangerous this job is. One moment of distraction and you could be knocked over. As we continued along the field, tracks showed a few more boars lurking near the irrigation system. If they damaged it, thousands of dollars in crops could be lost. We split to cover both sides, keeping watch carefully. Every member maintained proper spacing, avoiding each other's lines of fire. When a boar appeared, the team leader gave the signal. and it was handled cleanly. We pressed deeper into the cornfield, a common ambush area where visibility is limited. To reduce risk, we tightened our formation, using hand signals instead of radios. As we moved along a trail, a sharp squeal sounded right at my feet. A mature boar had been hiding under the brush, waiting to strike. The leader applied pressure, forcing it into the open, while the deputy quickly aimed and neutralized it. This is why we always move as a team. Alone, a situation like this could be disastrous. After checking the surrounding area, we continued along the dirt road toward the exit. Suddenly, the scout signaled to the right. A lone boar was attempting to sneak back through another trail. The leader signaled silence. As the boar ran, it crossed exactly where we had anticipated. One precise shot was all it took, without damaging any crops. Just when the team thought the area was clear, a loud snap came from behind. A large boar charged out from the trail behind us. Remaining calm, we rotated the formation 180 degrees, redirecting our line of fire away from the farm. It appeared for less than 2 seconds, but it was enough for the deputy to take a single clean shot. The leader checked the map. All trails are secure. Early morning on the outskirts of Oklahoma, a western farm's alarm blared. A herd of wild hogs had broken through the fence, raiding young cornfields and fleeing into the forest. No time to wait. The hunting team immediately set off in a Ram 1500 TRX to pursue the targets. The team leader commanded, "They're heading north, split into smaller units, and follow the main trail." From this moment, the hunt officially began. Everything had to be fast, precise, and controlled. No hog could return to the farmland. Minutes into the forest edge, Hunting dogs' barks echoed. A mature boar sprinted across the tall grass toward the hillside. The leader signaled, "Hold the left flank." I positioned myself at the tree line, adjusting my aim. The target zigzagged, forcing quick decisions. One warning shot, a second precise round, and the boar was down. The team quickly secured the area before moving on. The sound of gunfire seemed to rattle other boars in the herd. From the forest edge, several dark shapes bolted almost simultaneously. Strategy shifted immediately. The team leader assigned a sharpshooter to the right while maintaining a central position. Shots were fired in controlled succession, picking off the targets as they tried to escape through the trees. The pace was swift and precise, yet careful, ensuring no careless mistakes. The hunting rhythm remained steady, avoiding loud noises that could alert the distant herd. Nearby, the recon team signaled via iPhone 17 Pro Max. Two boars were moving together, sniffing the old trail. The team leader whispered through the headset, "Only shoot if there's a clear shot." The first round hit the lead boar, sending the second into a panic, crashing into the bushes. No one gave chase. The team held position, waiting for the motion tracker's signal. Within minutes, the device indicated the remaining boar was circling back toward the west. I immediately shifted direction along a narrow dirt path toward a thicket of dry brush. The boar appeared suddenly, less than 10 meters away. A sharp crack echoed as my shot flew true, quickly neutralizing the target. I approached to confirm. No resistance remained. The massive boar was removed from the travel path, ensuring no impact on nearby farmland. I returned to the team to move into the open space between two forests. There, a dark figure was rooting through soft soil for food. To prevent it from reaching the cornfield, the leader signaled to halt. We approached upwind, avoiding any scent that might alert the animal. When it lifted its head, a single well-aimed shot brought it down. Another destructive target was under control. With fatigue setting in, the team leader decided to withdraw. On the way out, a lone boar appeared near abandoned land. Slow but extremely alert, it demanded a careful approach. The leader opted for a safe tactic: maintain distance, use the scope from afar. One clean shot ended the morning hunt.
A once peaceful countryside in Morocco has been thrown into chaos as wild boars multiply across the region. Few could imagine the destruction these beasts bring. In a single night, barley fields and olive groves are torn apart, leaving fear and frustration in their wake. The village's calm is under siege, and we know it's time to take action, to head out and hunt these invaders, protecting the homeland we love. At dawn, our team gathers at Nick's house. Rifles checked, scopes aligned, spare rounds ready. We're set for the mission ahead. By 6:30, we push deep into the orange groves, scanning the terrain and finalizing our movement plan. Before we're even done talking, dark shapes dart across the field. Instantly, everyone takes position, eyes locked, hearts steady. The herd bolts for the thickets. I line up my shot and squeeze the trigger. One clean hit, the boar drops. Our first success of the day, and the crops behind us are safe. The hunt has officially begun. A few lucky boars break free from our initial volley, racing toward a narrow forest trail. From above, the drone spots them weaving through the brush. The hounds close in, flushing them into the open. My scope locks on target, one decisive pull of the trigger, and the beast collapses. The teamwork between man and dog pays off perfectly, precise, efficient, exactly as planned. Not far away, Nick has his eyes on another wild boar near the trail. The animal bursts out, charging fast. Nick gives chase. The boar catches sight of him and turns aggressive, ready to strike, but it's too late. Nick locks on, whispers his ritual, "Time to meet the Reaper," and fires. One shot, clean and final. The beast drops. I exhale in relief watching him finish the job, restoring calm to the land once more. What do you think of that moment? Share your thoughts below. As we move to another site, faint rustles in the brush grab our attention. Years of experience and the dog's sharp barks tell me it's close. I take position, waiting. Just as predicted, the boar bursts from cover. No hesitation. I raise my rifle, aim steady, and fire. The bullet hits its flank, but the beast manages to flee downhill. Minutes later, we find it collapsed beside a creek. It's moments like these that test a hunter's nerve and skill. And today, we've proven once again that courage and precision restore peace to our lands. As dusk settles, we get a call from Farmer. The boars have returned. We spin the trucks around and race back to the orange grove with renewed determination. The team fans out, closing the circle. The herd bolts, straight toward John's ambush point. A massive boar charges through. John steadies his aim and fires. One perfect shot, the giant drops where it stands. From now on, these fields can finally rest. No more ruined harvests. No more sleepless nights for the villagers. Every shot we take is a promise, trading gunfire for peace. The confrontation ends, and the countryside breathes easy again.
For several nights straight, a massive herd of wild boars has been tearing through a cornfield skirting the forest. Deep claw marks and tracks the size of a man's fist crisscross the field, an eerie sign that sends chills down everyone's spine. Today, we decided to go after the ringleaders. The locals call them the Black Shadows of the Red Soil. Our team came fully loaded. Flycam drones, rifles, tracking gear, everything ready for a full-scale showdown with these beasts. As dawn broke, our Ford Raptor roared into the forest. The question lingering in everyone's mind, will we truly come face to face with the monsters today? We started at the forest edge, where fresh tracks stood out clearly on the damp earth. Not far off, maybe 60 meters, a medium-sized boar was hiding in the underbrush. I signaled my teammate to flank right while I held center. The moment the boar poked its head out, I squeezed the trigger. Direct hit! The bullet punched through its body, dropping it instantly. Clean start. We quickly examined the area and moved forward. We continued deeper into the forest, sticking close to a narrow trail. Suddenly, rustling ahead, getting louder. Turns out, another boar was digging around, likely scavenging. Range, 80 meters. Wind, slight, blowing against us. I adjusted for wind and lowered the shot angle, waiting for it to turn broadside. Bang! The boar collapsed right there. We marked the site, recorded footage with the phone, and pressed on. Heading north. The sun climbed higher, and while visibility improved, every step became riskier. We swept nearby areas, and within 10 minutes, I spotted another boar peeking from the brush. I moved in, steadied my aim, and fired. First shot struck its side. It jolted and tried to bolt. I quickly followed up with a second round, straight into the chest. That brought it down for good. Another threat neutralized. As we wrapped up collecting the spoils, our scout radioed in. Movement spotted at 4 o'clock. I advanced swiftly, and managed to close in. I picked cover behind a tree, looked through the scope. Angle was tricky, roughly 30 degrees off, and the target was farther than usual. I fired. The bullet struck its shoulder. It staggered, but didn't fall. The beast roared and tore into the dense forest. It almost got away, but we had planned ahead. Earlier, my team and I had coordinated and set a trap. Just as expected, the boar burst out right into my teammate's line of fire. No hesitation, he steadied his aim, lined up the headshot, and pulled the trigger. One clean shot. Game over. The forest went dead silent. Another monster taken down. We were just about to call it a day when a faint noise came from the forest edge. A smaller boar, likely separated from the herd, crept cautiously into view. No target goes unclaimed. I raised my rifle, waited for it to step into the kill zone, and fired the final shot. A clean hit! A collective sigh of relief swept through the team. The scattered shell casings, the scent of damp earth, and the fresh tracks left behind all stand as witness to a day of relentless pursuit and precise action. Every step of the hunt was carried out in a state-approved hunting zone, in strict compliance with the state's regulations.